million speed with vibrant service. Vibrant Broadband Internet.
All right. Looks like we are all set to go here at 10:30. Everyone in from the rain. Everyone's hair looks fine.
Especially mine.
We're gonna. Yours looks exceptional, man. I'll tell you what.
Actually,
there's not a hair out of place.
There's not.
No.
There's not a hair in place.
Yeah, Nathan, what do you think of that?
I mean, Shane has never had a bad hair day as long as I've known him.
Yeah,
That's
no
right.
kidding. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
Here you go. It's all your show.
well, thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having us. Thanks for listening, audience. I'm Jane.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Nathan.
So last week, Litchfield Visitors Bureau hosted the Litchfield Parade of Bands, and it was an amazing event. The weather was perfect, and the event was live streamed through the Parade of Bands website, and Vibrant was a provider of that. And the Parade of Bands was live streamed on Facebook and the YouTube channel, and there were, I don't know, I think a couple hundred that were watching.
I would say, 1,000, probably.
Up to 1,000.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Because there was
Between
a lot
the
of
two.
people live there, too.
Yeah.
Yes. And so this week we thought it would be a great idea to talk about the behind the scenes of how that happens in the production, the man behind the curtain, and that would be
Ooh.
Shane. So we're going to talk a little bit about the behind the scenes.
Yeah, so people might wonder, what is live streaming? What does that term even mean? We've had many shows on KLFD here talking about streaming in general and kind of what that means, but live streaming, kind of a different avenue. Put simply, it's streaming at the same time as you're capturing the video, aka live. If you think about sporting events, you think about a lot of high school sporting events now are live streamed, where people can watch all over the country, all over the world. Or a lot of church services now are live streamed, where you can watch them in real time, essentially live, as they're being recorded and broadcast over the internet. So live streams can be watched live. A lot of them are recorded as well, and it can be rewatched later. That's pretty common. Some are one-time events. I know I've actually attended, quote unquote, live streamed concerts that were like a one-time concert that was broadcast over the internet but was not available later, so you had to be there live to watch it, that kind of thing. So like I said, it's similar to how we watch live TV, how people are used to watching live TV or cable broadcasts of sporting events, live news broadcasts, stuff like that. But the whole streaming term is basically just means that it's going over the internet. Live streams are a little different than your FaceTime or like Zoom meetings, where that's a two-way communication. A live stream is typically going to be a one-way broadcast. Someone is recording something and broadcasting out to the world, but they're not going to be interacting with or having video of the other end, the audience, if you will. So live streams are usually one way.
So how does it work? So anybody that has a smartphone and a solid internet connection can live stream. You just use your phone's camera and your microphone to record the video and the audio in real time. So then that video, we're going down the rabbit hole here. So that video is compressed by an encoder, either it's software or hardware, into a digital format so it can travel efficiently over the internet.
Yep, and then that gets sent to streaming platforms like YouTube. YouTube does a lot of live broadcasts. Like I said, Facebook, very popular. YouTube and Facebook are probably the most popular for your church services nowadays, your high school sporting events, stuff like that. Twitch is extremely popular now. There's a company called Twitch. It's a streaming service, kind of like Netflix or Hulu, but Twitch is essentially all live stream stuff, whether it's someone playing video games, whether it's people having a concert, whether it's people going to a political rally. There's all kinds of live video going on, and that's kind of Twitch's whole bread and butter. But essentially the platform receives the stream from the person that's doing it, and then they redistribute it to viewers. So then you can join kind of like a chat room of sorts. If you join, a lot of times there's chat, you can chat with other people that are watching, stuff like that. The broadcaster can often see how many people are viewing it, maybe interact with them via the chat, stuff like that. And then usually there's a pretty short delay. Technology has come quite a long way. Because of a lot of this is video, depending on the video quality, this used to be delayed quite a bit. You think of your live cable, even radio broadcasts oftentimes have a delay. But internet's gotten so fast that the delay is typically measured in milliseconds or seconds rather than minutes. It can be, you could be live interacting with somebody in real time, just like you would on your Facebook or your FaceTime and your Zoom, that kind of thing. It's pretty cool how it works behind the scenes.
Right. Now, Jane mentioned that anybody with a smartphone and an internet connection can live stream, and that is true. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a behind the curtain, behind the scenes of how we live streamed the Parade of Bands last week. So I used
Shane,
haven't
you heard the saying that a magician's never supposed to reveal his...
Well, yeah, I have, but I'm not a magician. I'm just a technical techie guy. So there is that. So I use 5 iPhone cameras, and I use an iPad as the control hub, and 4 gimbals. And what a gimbal is, a gimbal. It's called a gimbal.
Oh, yeah.
And what a gimbal is you mount your phone to this handheld device, and it's kind of like a gyroscope or a gyro, and it keeps the phone camera steady. So it's not going to have a lot of wiggling and stuff in there. So if you happen to bump it, or like I have camera people that will actually turn the gimbal and follow the band as we're going through. I use 4 tripods, 2 wireless microphones, and a bunch of chargers and power cords, obviously, because you don't want your phone or the gimbal to run out of power midway through, right? And then on the iPad is a software called Switcher Studio. Now there's a couple different software that you can use, but Switcher Studio is the one I learned on, and a lot of churches use Switcher Studio as well. It's a paid-for service. I pay for a week of it, because that's what I use of it. But you can get it with a monthly subscription if you have like ongoing live streams and that kind of thing. And that allows the cameras to connect to each other, or I can run switch the cameras. I see the video feed, and then also it streams to the platform. So the platform is for us it's YouTube and Facebook. But there's other platforms you can stream to a web page or whatever. So Switcher Studio that's kind of the setup. Ahead of time, I connect the phones to the gimbals, and I make sure that they connect via Bluetooth so that you can control some different things in the phone. So as an example, I can control all the phone's zoom function through the switcher. So I can, when I'm seeing a preview of the scene that's going to go live, there's a live one already playing, and I can see a preview. I can zoom in or zoom out if I want to from on their phone. I just let them run the gimbal kind of back and forth to follow the band. Then I make sure all the phones connect to the switcher software. And then I create all the graphics, like listing the sponsors. I create the overlays. I create the lower thirds so I can list the bands underneath. I do all that all ahead of time. And I spend about a full day just making sure it gets ready. Because, once you're live, it's like radio. There's no going back.
Time.
Yep, you're no going back. And if you lose the stream, you have to restart, and it starts a whole new stream, which means people have to look for it again. They can't just go back to the old one. So, and that's happened in the past. We've lost the stream, and not because of the internet connection, but one year, some kids were monkeying with the router.
Oh, great.
And unplugged it.
Sure. Why not?
Why not? Right?
Nothing better to do.
Right? And so it's like, what happened? And it took a few minutes to figure that out. And then, of course, when you plug the router back in, it's got to reboot and all that fun stuff. So it was about a 5-minute gap in that live stream. And so every year we kind of learn new tricks and new things. On the day of the shoot, I set up 3 camera positions. I have 2 vehicles two pickups that the camera operators sit in. One of them is my brother, and then the other person works at Meeker Co-op, Vivica. She ran it this year. In the past, Steve Cosbabs ran it. But I have 3 positions, and then I'm up by the judges. And so I'm able to kind of get different angles of all of the bands. I personally am running 3 cameras plus the switcher. And so I've got 1 camera pointed towards the band, and that one's on a gimbal, and I'll move that kind of to get a good angle. I've got 1 camera facing away, so as the band is marching away, I can go to that angle. And then this year, I ran just one by hand. I just would lift up the camera, I'd run it by hand, I'd hold it like if there's something interesting going on right in front of the judge's trailer, I would just hold that.
So what I think is interesting is I've watched it several years now, and it's when you're watching it, all of a sudden, just when you think, oh, I wish I could see that next step, you put it there, and it's like you flow with the band. It's so fun to watch it like that. It's like you are anticipating what's happening next, and the viewer gets to watch what you think is happening.
I think it helps that my kids were in marching band, and I followed them around all the years that they were in.
You know what to look for.
Yeah, and I videotaped the band for 4 years that way, like going to each parade and that kind of thing. So that helps, kind of knowing what to look for.
Sure.
But yeah, I look at what's interesting. I talk to the camera crew, and I tell them just don't try zooming back and forth. Don't try to catch the next thing. Just let the band kind of walk through your frame, and then I'll choose the right angle. The other thing that the software does, Switcher Studio, is allows me to record in what's called director mode, and that allows all the video to record on the phones themselves. So I have all the footage in 4K on the phones, and then at the end, after the performance, after the live stream, I will create a 4K version of that, and then upload that to YouTube. So, I mean, you can really get a nice, yeah.
What's 4K?
So 4K is ultra high definition.
Okay.
All right.
4K.
So standard
Pixel
definition.
density, I think, right?
Yeah, actually, Nathan, maybe you can explain just a little bit what the different definitions are.
Well, I know it has to do with pixelation, I think. So, like, if you think of a TV, nowadays, if you're going to shop for a TV, you may see 720 was kind of popular for a while, and then it goes 1080, and there was 1080i versus 1080p. A lot of those numbers are referencing the number of pixels, especially on the bigger screen you get, the more pixels you really need to have. You think about playing like an old, I don't know, I guess I'm the only one maybe, playing like an old Nintendo game on a giant TV, it looks absolutely horrendous because there was so few pixels and graphics generated that, like, and you do it on these giant screens that we have now, it seems insane. But 4K, I think, references the number of pixels, isn't that right?
Yeah,
Shane?
it's a higher resolution. So it's a 4,000 pixels in the image, where high definition is 2,000 pixels. So it's like twice the definition, kind of a thing. Our first
it means
year,
you can really see people's pimples and bald
There you
spots.
go.
And,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
all their imperfections really come to light.
Yep. I'll give you kind of an evolution of the Parade of Bands live stream. Our first year was 2019, and I thought, well, we should live stream this for the people that can't make it. Their grandmas and people, family out of town, and I had done some live streaming using the cellular service, that I'm on, and practiced with it, and it worked fine. It's like, okay, this is going to work great. And so we got all set up. I got the 3 cameras set up, and that time I think I just used 3 cameras, and started live streaming, and all of a sudden it just stopped, and it disconnected me, and I couldn't get back on. I got back on for a little bit, live streamed a little bit, it stopped. So I just continued recording it, and then I put that video up later, right? So the live stream was kind of a bust that year. Well, I'd found out that when a cell tower, they will prioritize cell phone service over a hotspot. And so I was trying to live stream over a hotspot. I thought, it's got plenty of upload, and plenty meaning, maybe 10 megabits per second. And ended up where I noticed people in the audience in front of me were trying to watch the live stream as they're watching the parade live.
No.
Well, then that jammed the tower, and then it cut the live stream. So lessons learned, right? So every year you learn something. 2020, we had COVID, of course, and then we just didn't have the event.
Right.
And 2021, Vibrant came into the picture, and they provided a nice, solid solid internet connection. And it's been great ever since.
Yes.
Yeah. Other than the few, the mishaps, which, like I say, somebody unplugging the router or, just some things dropping. But every year we improve the equipment that we use and we just make it better for everybody. And this year, as I'm monitoring the Facebook or the YouTube page, I noticed at one time we had 120 people watching it at one time, right? And then after everything was said and done, shut things down, I thought, I'm going to go back and look at the Facebook page to see how that did. And when I pulled up that video, it had 4,000 views.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to date, we've got on the live stream on YouTube, I think over 1,000 views. And then on Facebook, over 9,000.
Nathan,
So,
you
yeah.
watched it before too, right?
Yeah. Have you?
Yeah, I because I have such young kids, I've always wanted to go, but it usually just doesn't work out, putting the kids to bed and everything. But I've been able to catch the live stream, and it's really cool because you can interact with people via like chat while it's streaming. And I've noticed it's not just Litchfield people from other areas, because of course Parade of Bands is bands from kind of all over the place, and so you interact with a lot of people that say, man, I'm glad Litchfield does this. They're the only ones that live stream the event, and it's such done so well with different angles and stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty cool that Shane's taken on this because it doesn't sound like really other cities do some of this stuff, and it's a lot of work certainly, but it is worth it because so many people get to view it that otherwise can't view it, myself included, and it's been really fun to watch for sure.
So on the flip side, so now if I were home watching the live stream and the kids unplugged that streaming or unplugged the router, right? Mm-hmm. Now the first thing that person's going to think is my internet went down, right?
I know, right?
So it's not the internet, it's the behind the scenes that's happening at the live place. So always check your internet connection to make sure that your internet is functioning and working too.
Yeah. Now I make sure I put duct tape around things. So.
There you go.
Gotta love duct tape.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, Nathan, why don't you wrap this up?
Yeah, so bottom line is anybody can live stream. Jane mentioned it. If you have a smartphone, which almost everybody does now, and you have an internet connection, whether through your cell provider or preferably with like a Vibrant or a solid, home connection. It's simple. You can live stream personal events if you want to put on a little concert for people. You can live stream, family events. If you got someone that can't make it, you can either record it or live stream it where somebody can join remotely and kind of watch what's going on, or sporting events, stuff like that. It's easy to set up. Most smartphones and like your Facebooks and your YouTubes, they've made it incredibly easy. You can literally just a push of a button and you can live stream what's going on currently. For best results, like I mentioned, do it over home internet connection, something like Vibrant, specifically where you have a higher upload speed of 10 megabits per second or higher, where you're going to get that on a fiber connection, but some older technologies you may not get it. And then reliability is the number one thing. If you don't have a reliable internet connection, like you're too far from your Wi-Fi router, or your internet provider just has struggles with keeping it reliable, then you'll have that, the skips in the video or the video completely dropping out, stuff like that. So just something to think about, but go ahead, go crazy. Live stream as much as you want.
Well, we are sponsoring an event next week. We're not going to be live streaming it, however.
No.
That is going to be Monday. We're sponsoring the Chamber Golf Scramble.
Mm-hmm.
There's still open spots, so reach out to Meeker Memorial Hospital if you're interested in that.
Chamber.
The Chamber, I'm sorry.
Chamber, yep.
Yep, Chamber Golf, sorry. I have my daughter in my head. Chamber, yep. So Janae would love to hear from you, and Deanna, right?
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, if you have any questions, certainly give us a call, 693-3231, or learn more about us at vibrantbroadband.com. Catch the replay on Facebook or YouTube channel. Search for Vibrant Broadband, and then listen live every Wednesday at 10:30 on KLFD.
All right. Tthank you, Jeff. Thank you, audience.
Sure.
My name is Shane.
I'm Jane.
And I'm Nathan.
Tune in next week for another Vibrant You Live.
Brilliant speed with vibrant service. Vibrant broadband internet. Vibrant broadband internet.